Hello, and welcome to another lesson of Dave Matthews Music. This is the satellite lesson. If you haven't already seen them, this video is designed to correspond with the videos of isolated riffs. You can go to my channel and look up each song, and I'm almost through Under the Table and Dreaming at this point, but eventually all albums will be on there. You can see all the riffs if you're having a hard time getting one down and place it on repeat, and I advise that if you have trouble with any kind of riff. Okay, as far as this lesson goes, if you're familiar with Satellite, it begins with a riff here on the 4th fret with your index finger, your middle finger at the 6th fret on the 5th string, and just below it, pinky, right there on the 4th string and the 8th fret, forming this chord right here. That is a very common chord in Dave Matthews music. You'll see in songs like Fool to Think, Dreams of Our Fathers, and a host of other ones. I advise you to practice this stretch if you are not familiar with it, as really you're not going to be able to play the riff well enough and fluidly enough if you can't stretch this far. Speed is accuracy. Remember that. As far as the riff goes, it begins there, and then you're going to do this here. That's index finger just below it, and middle finger there. Little power chord. So, and then pinky here at the 8th fret on the 6th string. And that's where index finger goes, right there up to the pinky. And that is going to be right there at the 5th fret on the 4th string. So what we have now is, and we're coming to the end. You're going to swing that middle finger back here, and that's going to be at the 6th fret on the 6th string. And then moving forward, these two right here. So right after that middle finger comes here, your pinky's going to swing down to the 8th fret on the 5th string, and then index finger coming down there, or I guess up there, to the 4th fret on the 5th string. So we have, and then to end it, middle finger here, and that's going to be at the 6th fret on the 4th string, and then pinky. And then you'll end it right there for that full song intro where he kind of plays stop time almost. Practice that a lot. It's really actually probably good for just playing Dave in general. Moving forward, the next riff is going to be the Winter's Cold, Spring Erases verse. And again, we're going to tap right there at the 4th fret 6th string with your index finger. And one thing to note is it really helps, in my opinion, to think about the lyrics and how he sings them when playing this riff. Because it goes a little bit something like this. the changes, and I think it's really helpful to do that. As far as actually playing it, you'll see another chord in there, just like the one we're playing here. He uses this shape as kind of the bass for that. So what he's doing is he's tapping this to lead into it, and then placing these two here, and that's going to be the ring finger on the 6th fret of the 4th string, and then right below it the pinky on the 3rd string. So he'll tap and slide up a whole step, and then coming down here with the middle finger to create a power chord. And then completing the chord right there. I'm doing another power chord. And then just moving the index finger as kind of a bass. The most important part is the timing, and if you didn't know already, Satellite, I believe, is in a 3/4 time signature, and you'll hear that especially in the next part of the song, which we'll get to. One of the things I want to give you a tip on is a lot of people want to put a little bit of an extra note right there on that bass string. It's important to know that you just hit it once and slide. Just like in the lyrics, like I said, follow the lyrics and it'll make it a lot easier. That being said, the next riff is really fun to play, and I think if you can do this fluidly, you're going places. And it leads in from the main riff, which I'm sure you know already. And it's pretty easy once you get to the chord strumming. The transition is probably the most difficult part. But I'll show you what we're doing there. And of course, beginning with the main riff. And right there, when you get to that 5th fret on the 4th string with the index finger, is where you'll begin to kind of do a walking, almost walking bass line. And like I said, you'll start there, and then the middle finger, which you could kind of consider still a part of that main riff, but I kind of like to think of it as a lead into the next, is gonna just here with the pinky at the 8th fret on the 6th string, index finger at the 4th fret on the 5th string, middle finger there, 6th fret, 5th string, and pinky. Some people like to use their ring finger. I think it's important to be able to use your pinky and make it strong. But do that right there. So, and you do a little bit of a strum right there on the muted strings and play a power chord. You can play this, or if you want, you can grab that little 6th string right there at the top. I believe the tabs actually say to include that, but no one will really notice. I don't think anyway. Unless you're a perfectionist, I think it's really the only thing that matters. Now when you get to the chords, after you strum this guy, you're going to have a major chord right here at the 4th fret. I'm not sure if that's an A flat or a G sharp, but it's right there. Include just the 4 strings, at least I like to. And then here, it's going to be C minor. And then a power chord here with just a 3. I suppose you could try doing that, but I don't think it sounds very good. In fact, I don't even think the tab calls for it. So just do that. Yeah, that feels good. And then here, at the end, another power chord. And that last power chord is the one you started with. 3/4 timing, so it kind of ends and begins on the same chord. So to reiterate, excuse me, that's messed that one up. And that last part, you're just gonna exclude that last chord here and just move from this one, strum it a couple extra times. And that's how you transition back into the main verse and continue on through the song. That really concludes it. There's only the 3 main riffs. Not too much to it other than that. As a lasting remark, I would advise going back if you can, if you're a beginner, and doing those stretches. They really help. Come up and do it on the top, and do them everywhere you can. Get that pinky strong, and you'll be playing the song in no time. Another lasting remark as well is that I believe Dave likes to do complete downstrokes in this entire song, so you're not plucking up back and forth, but down. I do mostly down. Sometimes I just kind of, when I'm playing naturally and not thinking about it, it goes back and forth a little bit. But try and think about the way you're plucking and pluck down. And you can get all kinds of great sounds from it using your palm mutes and things like that. And then when you really are thinking about it, the most important part as well is kind of keeping your wrist stationary. You don't want to be moving your wrist too much. You should be able to keep your thumb on one part of the neck the entire time, kind of hidden behind there. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me or send any requests that you have. Like I said, go back and look at those riffs to really get an idea of how they're played, and we'll see you next time.